So Call of Duty did just release a trailer for Verdansk returning on April 3rd. I know this has kind of been the rumor and a lot of people already knew that Season 3 was going to have Verdansk in it, but it does feel kind of nice that we finally got an official trailer. This is actually just a really big day for Call of Duty and just in Warzone in general. I know that a lot of the game has just kind of had some negative feedback and stuff like that over the past couple years, and it's really exciting to kind of see that they're somewhat going back to some of our roots, and you guys will see some of that in this gameplay or the trailer that they kind of provided here. Now, before we get into this, if you guys are new here, I would really appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel with your post notifications on, and also comment down below. I know there's been a lot of Verdansk content that we've been posting here lately, so I do appreciate every single one of you guys that are kind of interacting, engaging with my content. It means the world to me. All right, let's go ahead and watch this. I know that there is some copyrighted music, so we'll kind of keep the volume on a minimum, and we'll also kind of pause here and there. And as you guys can tell, the first thing at the bottom, it says not actual gameplay. So you guys will see like the original helicopter in this. I'm unsure if that's going to be back in the next iteration of Verdansk, which is in like, I don't even know, like 30 days or something. We're so close to it. But yeah, there are probably a lot of things in this that aren't actual gameplay. Obviously the graphics and everything look incredible. But as you guys know, this is probably not actual gameplay. So we're just going to have to wait and see until April 3rd, or if, you know, early gameplay kind of leaks and stuff like that. So we'll kind of have to stick by. But as you guys can tell, first thing that I noticed here, and a lot of people are already talking about it, this is actually a bunker code. So it seems like the bunkers are coming back in Verdansk. And this is the one by Boneyard, I believe, on the left side of the map of Verdansk. So pretty exciting here that they're kind of bringing bunkers back. And again, I think that with this trailer and overall just like the Verdansk announcement in general, as you guys know, they're trying to really target nostalgia. I think that's the thing. They're trying to hit all the nostalgia points and just really bring people back. You guys have also seen leaked that I've talked about in other videos, the HDR, the AMAX, the Kilo coming back. So super excited to kind of see all this, and I know that they're just really trying to pinpoint nostalgia. Hopefully they can bring a lot of the player base back that are still playing games. I understand that during COVID, a lot of people quit and they kind of went back to their normal lives, you know, working 9 to 5s, raising families, whatever it might be. But there are still a lot of gamers out there that used to play Warzone that just aren't really playing Warzone anymore. So this is kind of what those people are targeted for, you know. And then another thing, as you guys can see here, this is kind of a little teaser. You know, you guys will see more of it, but of the original showers. You know, so the gulag that we initially have, the gulag we have right now is pretty similar. It is the showers gulag. However, this is like the original, and you guys will kind of see some of that. Last thing I want to kind of talk about here, you know, before we really get into it, a lot of these characters you guys are going to see, they're not throwing bundles in your face. They're not throwing all these like crazy operators. A lot of it's very milsim. So again, to kind of target that like nostalgia effect, they really want people to feel like they are coming back to Verdansk, and it's not with like all these crazy operators and bundles that they're throwing down your throat. Yes, of course, there are still going to be some crazy bundles. I think right now, like I'm rocking the Terminator skin, which I have no problem with. I think that all the different operators that we have are great, but I do understand that keeping and maintaining that milsim feel, because it is Warzone and it's a Call of Duty game, is super important. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to target here and kind of what they're trying to hit. But yeah, super exciting. As you guys can tell here, this is going to be, you know, there's already a rock being thrown at him and stuff like that. So, you know, obviously going to be in the gulag here. Looks like the original showers gulag, which is super exciting. I know that, like I said, we have a pretty similar gulag right now. And I think gulags are super important. I honestly do. I think that right now it's been kind of overplayed because we have gulag tokens, second chances, all these different things, redeploy packs. And I think that the battle royale experience as it is right now, you don't really value your life. So you don't really care about your gulag. But I think that hopefully we get back to that BR feel where you have one gulag a game and it actually means something. It's not like, oh, you just die and fire sale, you're back. Oh, jailbreak, you're back. So hopefully that we can kind of get back to that feeling, because I do think that the gulag is like one of the most vital things that makes Warzone different, in my opinion. It's just one of the things that makes the game so different. So I'm hoping that we can kind of get that original feel. And it seems like they're trying to hit one of those nostalgia points with the original showers gulag. So as you guys can tell, like I said, talking about a lot of the milsim skins, you know, the operators, I know this is super important for, you know, the core player base is those milsim skins. You guys can even see here, there's the original helicopter, a lot of parachutes. You know, something I would love for them to do eventually one day is to have customizable parachutes. I know Fortnite's done this, obviously, with their umbrellas and stuff like that. So hopefully we can kind of get customizable parachutes, but something I want to touch here. As you guys can tell, Stadium is closed. So this is like the original Stadium. It is closed. Again, not actual gameplay, but this I feel like is pretty fair to kind of go off of. They do throw in a lot of hints during these trailers, you know, most of the time. So I will talk about Stadium being closed right now. I know it was kind of already leaked that people said that Stadium was closed, but you could kind of go inside of it. Like the top was closed, but apparently you can go inside of it. So unsure kind of how they're doing Stadium right now, just kind of based off of leaks and stuff like that. That's kind of what their idea is right now. However, again, we're just gonna have to wait to see till April 3rd to actually see if there are the original helicopters, if Stadium is actually closed, what they're gonna do with that. Again, here's another clip of the helicopter, the original helicopter. I do hope that original vehicle, like at least the fluidity, like this LTV is fine, right? As long as they make this thing kind of fluid and it can move and it maneuver. I mean, dude, you try driving this up the hill of Urzikstan right now from Popov to like that military base. This thing can't even go up the hill. So it's pretty bad right now. The movement and on the vehicles are pretty bad. And I kind of hope that they bring back that original feeling of the vehicles, because man, it was so good. Again, last thing I want to talk about it. Obviously we have Ghost here and just the original Milsim skins. I think they're really trying to pinpoint like, hey, we're not trying to shove bundles down your throat. We're not trying to be like this sellout. This is like really the experience that's coming back. You guys are getting Verdansk back. Everything's going to be, you know, original and stuff like that. And we'll kind of go over some tweets as well. There's some really important tweets that I kind of want to talk about that I saw on this. So super excited, man. And look, even just the tear of joy, just, you know, reminiscing on, yo, Verdansk is back. And this is like a great picture right here. So boom. Stadium's like kind of on fire. I don't know if that's like a hint. Again, another original helicopter. Unsure what we're going to do there, but pretty cool. And then here's downtown. Obviously looks amazing. I think the whole map's just kind of on fire or smoke just because of like, I don't know. I don't think the map's actually going to be on fire when we get it. But even you can tell here, some fire here. Downtown looks pretty good. The color palette looks really good. So if this is kind of how it's coming back, I'm stoked, man. I'm super, super excited. I don't know what this big building here is, unless I'm just missing something. Because I know this is kind of like Nakatomi Tower. Well, it's not the original Nakatomi. This is like the one before Nakatomi. We have like Port. I'm unsure what that big building is. Stadium. And then this would be like the little neighborhood over here with the fire station. Those big buildings. And then, yeah, I don't know what this building is. Oh, maybe these are towers. There's hospital. So yeah, super exciting. It looks like that they're bringing a lot of the original POIs back. And again, we're gonna be unable to see all of it until the gameplay actually drops on April 3rd. But I mean, me personally, man, just watching this, I'm super, super excited. And as you guys can tell, there's gonna be some music. I'll play it a little bit. But Verdansk returns April 3rd. Again, this was kind of already known just because of all the leaks that, you know, Season 3 was coming back in April or April 3rd, and they kind of delayed it a little bit from March 20th. So I think that this is such a big and just such a monumental update for Warzone, and I'm glad that they're taking the extra time to kind of make sure that it's good. This is super exciting. Obviously, today is the 10-year or 5-year anniversary, March 10th, of Verdansk dropping, you know, back in 2020. It's crazy to think that we've already been 5 years through this game, and to kind of see how it went, you know, it is a little upsetting, you know, that we kind of had that Warzone 2 period and the game kind of just hit like a really hard crash. But I really do feel like that this is kind of just a huge step in the right direction, and that we're kind of making that incline back to hopefully what Warzone and Call of Duty can kind of get back to. But there are some tweets that I kind of want to talk about. I know Charlie Intel has been all over it, and I do have to turn on my voice meter real quick so you guys don't mind. But while we're doing that, we'll kind of go over some tweets that Charlie Intel was talking about. Activision says that over 125 million players have dropped into Warzone since its 2020 launch. Now, this is crazy to think about. I mean, I know that COVID and everything was insane. I'd be curious to hear how many players have played in the past like 3 years or something. I'm sure it's way, way less than this, obviously. I'm sure it's like more than half, you know, less than this. So it's just, you know, I'm hoping that we can kind of get back to player growth. And I think that, you know, they've done a really okay job of keeping people around. I think especially with last year, I think Modern Warfare 3 Warzone and stuff like that and Call of Duty wasn't bad in general. Black Ops 6 started off really good. Warzone integration happened. It just wasn't great. So pretty upsetting that they kind of missed the mark there. But again, I'm really, really hopeful for Verdansk and stuff like that. And we'll kind of go ahead and read this tweet real quick. Oh my God. I have some allergies coming up, so if I sneeze, I apologize. But in celebration of Warzone's 5th anniversary, it's time to revisit the place where it all began with the original Verdansk map. Now, that's, to me, the original map, the OG, about as OG as you can get. There's no factory, there's no stadium blowing up, there's no, you know, so many other POIs that they just don't have. There's no Summit, is that what it's called? Summit? Ooh, gosh, it was Dam and then Summit, I believe. So the original map returning April 3rd. Get ready to drop zones, familiar terrain that players loved alongside new updates to explore. So this is super exciting. Like I said, they're really trying to hit nostalgia. And I think this is super important because they need to just kind of bring back the map in its original state so that everyone that quit the game during COVID or during whatever, they can come back and be like, oh my God, this feels so familiar. And they're not like super thrown off by the new movement, the new guns, everything like that. So people need to come back and at least be somewhat familiar with the game. So I think that's super important that they do drop it in a original state. And you know, here is kind of just some more gameplay, obviously, of that. HDR confirmed to Warzone. So as you guys can tell, HDR is finally kind of leaked. This was a rumor, and they're already bringing it back. And also, as you guys know, the Kilo was coming back, and I believe that there was an AMAX leak as well on another thing. And then here is a kind of a video. I haven't even watched this yet, so I kind of want to hear it from Nadeshot. But you know, Nate is just a pioneer in my opinion in the Call of Duty space. He's been around for a while. He's you know, a legend in my opinion. I got a lot of respect for Nadeshot and his opinions and stuff. So always want to hear kind of what he has to say.
The issue is still going to be the hacking and the cheating situation, bro. I mean, all these good things that they're doing are kind of null and void if you get on and you can't play a real game of Call of Duty, a fair game of Call of Duty. So we'll see, man. I don't know. We're gonna check out Verdansk, I would imagine, at some point, but I'm not holding my breath, man.
Yeah,
but
I definitely think he shares a lot of, you know, frustrations and stuff. Obviously, you know, the cheating issue is crazy. And I know even Activision announced that they're hiring a new, like, senior president of Ricochet and stuff like that. So I'm unsure kind of what's going on in that department. The cheating has been really bad. As you guys know if you guys watch my streams, I've been playing a lot of console only ranked, you know, with Joe Woe and a couple other people. So we've just been all on the console only ranked grind, you know, just not running into hackers, but running into teamers. It's been really sad to kind of see, just the unfair play that's been going on in Warzone lately. So I'm hoping that we can kind of get back to a good anti-cheat. I know we never had one initially, but a lot of people weren't really hacking back then until towards the end of Verdansk. You know, obviously when the game first dropped, people were just kind of playing the game, and I don't even think cheats were really that prevalent. And then it just got really, really ugly very quickly. So I do agree with what Nadeshot's saying. You know, they do need to make sure that they're on top of it, even if it's manual bans or stuff like that, just cleaning up as much as possible. And I think that we need to be permanently banning people and also hardware banning everything. I know spoofers are a whole thing. So the whole cheating thing, fighting cheaters is just it's a very difficult thing. You know, from someone who's kind of read on it a little bit, cheats are always developing. Anti-cheats are always developing. It's just a very like game of cat and mouse. People are always, you know, ahead of it or they're behind the curve, and it's kind of a mess. So hopefully we can kind of get some clarity there as far as what's going on with the anti-cheat, and hopefully that they can be a lot better. I would imagine they're going to be pretty on top of it, especially at the release, and then I'm sure it'll die out a little bit, you know, obviously as they start focusing on other updates and stuff like that. But hopefully at release and the first like month or two is super, super good, so that we can kind of have a good starting ground of where the game can go. But alright, y'all, hey, listen, that is going to be all from me today. Just a quick little touch on our video and kind of watching some of the Verdansk clips and stuff like that, kind of give you guys my opinion on the trailer and everything. I'm super excited. April 3rd is going to be great. If you guys are new here, again, I would really appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, your post notifications on, and also comment down below. I'm also going to be working on multi-streaming on YouTube whenever Verdansk comes out, so hopefully if you guys are here specifically on YouTube, I would really appreciate if you guys tuned in, and if not, I will also be on live on Twitch. Alrighty, y'all, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm out and about. Peace, peace, peace.